Where are you locked in from today? Drop it below. This story's about to hit you like a shockwave. Picture this. I'm an FBI agent trained to face down criminals, but nothing prepared me for the war that erupted in my quiet suburban neighborhood. My name's not your typical bad guy. It's Karen, the queen of petty power trips, wielding fake HOA rules like a dictator. She thought she could bully me into submission. Big mistake. I don't bend, and I sure as hell don't break. It started with a pounding on my door at dawn, loud enough to shake the windows. Half asleep, I stumbled to the peephole and saw two clowns in cheap uniforms, HOA police stitched on their chests, badges gleaming like dollar store toys. My pulse kicked up, not from fear, but from the sheer audacity. I cracked the door. What's this about? The taller one, a guy with a jaw sharp enough to cut glass, jabbed a finger at me. Your garage is in violation. We're inspecting it. Now. I laughed, a short, hard sound. Violation? My garage is cleaner than your badge. Show me a warrant. The shorter one, a woman with eyes like slits, snapped. We don't need one. HOA orders. Behind them, I spotted her, Karen, my neighbor, with her smug grin and folded arms, watching like a puppet master. She'd been a thorn since I moved in, whining about my mailbox color, my lawn's shade of green. Now she'd escalated to this circus. I stepped onto the porch, voice low. Karen, you behind this? She tilted her head, dripping fake sweetness. Just enforcing community standards. You're not above the rules, agent. The word agent landed like a taunt. She knew who I was, and she didn't care. They waved a flimsy paper, no seal, no signature, claiming I was under investigation. I held my ground. That's not legal. You've got no authority. Karen sighed dramatically. Don't make this hard. We'll add defiance to your violations. My phone buzzed, my boss calling at this ungodly hour. My gut twisted. This wasn't just a neighborhood spat anymore. Something bigger was brewing, and Karen was at the heart of it. I answered my boss's call, stepping inside to shut out Karen's glare. His voice was clipped, urgent. Get to the office. Now. My stomach dropped. Is this about a complaint? A pause. Just come in. I hung up, heart hammering, and faced the fake cops again. I'm leaving. This isn't over. The woman sneered. Run all you want. We'll mark you uncooperative. Karen leaned in, eyes cold. Your neighbors will see you dodge justice. I bit back a retort, knowing a scene would play into her hands. Driving to the FBI field office, I kept checking my mirrors, half expecting that fake HOA cruiser to tail me. Karen's setup was no joke. She'd weaponized her petty grudge into a full-blown ambush. At the office, my boss looked like he hadn't slept in days. Local authorities are reporting you for threats, he said, tossing a file on his desk. I explained the fake badges, Karen's smirking presence, but his frown deepened. Paperwork says you resisted a lawful inspection. It's nonsense, but it's official. Higher-ups are watching. My chest tightened. Karen had somehow turned her scam into a bureaucratic blade aimed at my career. Back home, the fake cruiser idled at my street's end, lights off, daring me to react. My phone buzzed, a blocked number. A text, watch your step. We know you. Rage surged, but I forced it down. Karen wasn't alone. She had muscle, maybe even connections, and she was playing for keeps. At work, whispers followed me. Colleagues shot sidelong glances, rumors spreading like wildfire. An agent named Davis pulled me aside in the break room. Words out, you're on thin ice. Watch your back, especially with that Karen chick. She's bragging about taking you down. My jaw clenched. This wasn't just about my garage anymore. It was personal. That night, an unmarked SUV parked near my house, tinted windows hiding whoever was inside. My nerves were raw, every creak in the house sounding like a threat. An email from Internal Affairs hit my inbox, demanding I explain my altercation with local security. I sank onto my couch, head in hands. Karen's fake citations had reached the FBI, and my job hung by a thread. She wasn't just a nosy neighbor. She was a predator, and I was her prey. I woke to another pounding on my door, expecting Karen's goons. Instead, it was Tamara, a neighbor who hadn't yet drunk Karen's Kool-Aid. Her hands shook, holding a fake HOA notice demanding a fine for her house's paint color. I called the real HOA, she whispered. The line's dead. Is Karen allowed to do this? My blood boiled. No. It's a scam. Don't pay. But her eyes were wide with fear. If no one stops her, maybe it's real. I promised to fight, but her doubt mirrored my own. Karen's grip was tightening, and neighbors were folding. I reached out to Alvarez, a local cop I trusted, and laid out the fake badges, the threats, the citations. He ran the HOA cruiser's plates. Private security firm, no HOA contract, he said. They're acting illegally, but I need more than your word. Get neighbors to talk. Easier said than done. Karen had scared everyone silent. Even Tamara hesitated to sign a statement, afraid of retaliation. At work, my boss called me in again. More complaints, he said, voice heavy. They're painting you as a loose cannon. Prove these cops are fake, or internal affairs will bury you. One evening, I confronted Karen in her driveway. Why are you doing this? I demanded. She smirked. Standards, agent. You don't meet them. I stepped closer. You're extorting people. That's a crime. A fake cop appeared, badge gleaming. Move along, he barked. I held my ground. You're not cops. Karen's smile didn't waver. They're all the authority we need. I walked away, fuming, knowing she was untouchable without hard proof. Then came the voicemail, a muffled voice warning. Back off, or it gets worse. My pulse raced. Karen had allies, and they weren't just neighborhood bullies. I dug through old HOA records and found a scrapped proposal for a security program. Karen's brainchild, rejected by residents. She'd revived it on her own, building a shadow empire. But who was backing her? The threats, the fake paperwork, the silenced HOA. It felt too big for one woman. A flyer jammed under my wiper announced an HOA meeting at Karen's house, recruiting volunteer police for a fee. She was expanding her army, brazen as hell. I snapped a photo for evidence, heart pounding. This was my chance to expose her, but it could also be a trap. I met Tamara, who shared old newsletters showing Karen's rise in the HOA. One mentioned third-party security, her fake cops. She planned this, Tamara said, voice trembling. What if she's untouchable? I shook my head. She's not. We'll prove it. I visited Alvarez with my evidence, citations, flyers, screenshots. He frowned. It's damning, but I need witnesses. Neighbors have to step up. I knew they wouldn't. Karen's fear campaign was too strong. Driving back, a black sedan tailed me, vanishing when I reached the police station. My phone rang, an unknown caller. Stop digging, a gravelly voice hissed. I gripped the wheel, fear mixing with defiance. Karen's network was closing in, but I wasn't backing down. At work, internal affairs grilled me about aggressive behavior. Karen had flooded them with fake complaints, even claiming I'd damaged property. It's a setup, I insisted, but the supervisor's pen tapped ominously. Prove it or you're done. Back home, a note in my mailbox read, meeting tonight, community center. Be there. No signature, but it reeked of Karen. I geared up, recorder, phone, badge, texting Alvarez my plan. His reply, be smart. Call if it's trouble. The community center was packed, tension thick as fog. Karen stood at a podium, preaching about community safety and her HOA police. I sat in the back, recording. She blamed rogue residents for unrest, her eyes flicking to me. I stood. Your police are fake, I shouted. They're unlicensed, extorting neighbors with bogus fines. The crowd stirred, murmuring. Karen's smile cracked. You're delusional, she spat. I held up my phone. I have proof. No HOA contract, no legal authority. A neighbor grabbed one of Karen's citations, shouting, This looks fake. Others surged forward, demanding answers. Karen's goons faltered, one bolting for the door. Alvarez walked in, badge shining. Karen Garrett, you're coming with me for questioning. Her face drained of color. You can't. I have connections. But the crowd turned, her spell broken. I exhaled, adrenaline surging. The tide was shifting. Karen was cuffed and led out, her empire crumbling. Neighbors swarmed me, some apologizing, others vowing to testify. Tamara hugged me, tears streaming. You saved us. I nodded, too wired to speak. Alvarez filed charges, extortion, impersonation, fraud. An HOA audit revealed Karen had pocketed thousands in fake fines. Her uncle, the deputy director, claimed ignorance but resigned under pressure. The fake police vanished, their firm slapped with lawsuits. At the FBI, my boss called me in. You're cleared, he said, grinning. Internal affairs dropped everything. You took down a con artist. Relief hit like a wave. My badge felt lighter, my career secure. Back home, the neighborhood breathed again. No cruisers, no threats. Porch lights glowed, kids played in yards, and the real HOA resurfaced, vowing transparency. But I stayed vigilant. Karen's scheme showed how fast fear can grip a community, how one person's greed can twist trust. I kept Alvarez's number close, checked my locks nightly, and watched for strange cars. The battle was won, but the war against petty tyrants never ends. To anyone out there facing their own Karen, don't flinch. Gather proof, rally allies, and fight. You're stronger than their lies. So, where are you standing your ground today? Drop your story below. Let's keep the fire burning.